Hi, Genesis.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you too?
I'm good, thank you.
You may have to lift your voice up a bit for me, okay?
Am I clear enough now?
I'm sorry?
You said like you needed my voice to be a little bit more clearer?
Yes, and a bit, amplify it a bit for me.
I can't hear you.
You can hear me?
Hold on.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, good. So let's get to it. Okay, so I have Genesis on the line. Genesis is a spiritual consultant. I happen to have met her, and we had a very intriguing conversation. She really has some very interesting concept that I think you guys would like to hear about. I'm sure you guys will be intrigued. Trust me, what she has will blow your mind off. I've experienced it, and I know what I'm talking about. So, hi Genesis, welcome to the conversation.
Hi, Nee. Thank you for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure. The pleasure is mine. Now, let's get straight to it because there's so much we have to say in very little time. What do you do as a spiritual consultant?
I am a spiritualist, which in a nutshell, because that's going to be like a long conversation, right? So I'm a spiritualist, and basically what I do is I offer spiritual cleansing, which I will talk about that. I offer spiritual readings, which is what mostly spiritualists do. Is some might call them prophets or prophetess or whatever. They offer spiritual readings, and I also offer spiritual items like bracelets or mojo bags or other items like that, which is also another conversation for another day.
Okay.
But in a nutshell, people consult with me concerning issues that they're having, challenges that they're having, and I just assist them spiritually by communicating with spirit. Is basically what I do.
Yeah, I mean, for the untrained eye or for the layman, once we get to hear that I communicate with spirits, immediately it connotes something that is dangerous, something that is evil. How would you break down that term or that expression, I communicate with spirits, to the layman for it to be demystified?
Well, that was actually the reason why I agreed to have this conversation with you, because it gives me the platform to educate people on exactly what spirituality really is.
Yeah.
And so I consider myself a spiritualist, which God is spirit, who, when I say God, I mean the creator of the universe, the one that created black people, Asians, white people, people from the Europe. That God that created the universe and that created this earth that we live in. That God, that one God, which I believe every religion has that core. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well, what I do as a spiritualist is I don't participate in any type of religion or affiliate myself with any type of religion, in as much as I accept all of the teachings. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I understand that. Absolutely.
So that's basically, in a nutshell, to bring it in, is I don't do religion. It's more of like spirituality. And when I say spirit or spirituality, I mean more of water, earth, sun, moon. That's basically, when I say spirituality, that's where I go into, and loving one another, which is basically Jesus' teaching. That was what he kind of left us with, is for us to love one another as ourselves. So that's what I practice, is love.
Interestingly, these things that you mentioned, water, earth, love, and all that, these are things that we live with on a daily basis. These are things that we see and we ignore because to us it's mundane. It's something that we see all the time. Now, are you telling us that these are the spirits that you communicate with?
That's correct. When you go back to whatever thing that you believe in, you will always come back to that mystery of who created God.
Yeah.
Who created the universe?
Yes.
Who is God? So whenever you get to that point of mysteriousness of who is the creator of this universe that we live in, that's that point of awakening for everybody else to go back to what it is that you were taught. And by the time you go and do the research and search a little bit deeper within, you're going to realize that God is spirit.
You know, so that's very interesting, because when I've heard so many religious debates, and when it gets to the point of, okay, if you say God created the earth, who created God? Then it's like you're moving into this space of absurdity, because I mean, there's no answer to that. And the Christians will tell you that you don't subject things of the spirit to secular understanding. Yes, so that's where the caveat is. Like, okay, when you get to the point where there are questions that cannot be answered, they tell you that, look, these are spiritual things. You need a certain lens to be able to understand things of the spirit.
Absolutely. And just to make sure that I'm understanding, so that we communicate better, so people can really understand where we're going with this conversation.
Yes.
When we say that God is spirit, and if we were to worship it spiritually, we have to do so spiritually and truthfully. And so, you know, the first question when everybody that comes to me as a spiritualist is questions about themselves.
Yes.
Which I think is a point of awakening for everybody. Like, when you get to that point where you're like, I'm not even sure why I'm here. Like, what is it that I'm here on earth to achieve? What is it that I'm here on earth to accomplish? Yeah. That's that moment where you begin to seek beyond yourself. Like, there is something, there's a reason why I'm here. That desire and hunger to find out who you are, which is the closest way and the easiest way and the only way for you to know God, is to really understand who you are.
Great. Okay, so I don't want us to be too academic about it. I want us to be able to break it down so that anybody can relate to it. So let's just come down to the nitty-gritties of it.
Spiritual readings and
yes, yeah, exactly. So Genesis, the first conversation I had with you that got me so intrigued was the fact that you were saying that it's very easy for you to be able to read somebody's, like you're saying, significance on this earth, and even be able to read the future of someone. How do you do that?
That's through the spiritual reading. What I basically do is I consult spirits on somebody, and you ask very concise questions. What is it that I need to know about me today? Or usually for spiritual readings, I usually have clients give me 5 questions that they need answers to. So when you consult with a spirit or DT, or you do spiritual readings for people, the answers that you get sometimes are not as clear as people think that they are.
Okay.
So, for instance, if I were to see somebody and I pick up an energy, which I'm open to pick up energy from people, I can begin to sense things about them.
Okay.
Some would say it's intuition, but I feel like I literally can hear what they're thinking. I can feel what they're feeling. And when I just approach the person and I begin to speak to them, I am going to be accurate in everything that I say about them. So it's not something that it's something that I pick up when I go into the store randomly. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I pick up messages from random people, from spirit, because it's people that I don't see. I don't see the people that are giving me this information. Now, when you consult with me for a spiritual reading and you ask me questions to find out, will I get this job that I'm looking for?
Yeah,
it's a yes or no question.
That was what I was
exactly.
I was going to ask you that. So any random person can just come to you and say, Genesis, I'm interested in finding out, I've applied for this job, or I'm dating this woman, or I have this terminal ailment, or that I want you to be able to tell me whether I can get the job, whether I'm going to end up with this woman, or whether I'm going to die maybe in the next 3 months. Is that something that you can easily do?
That's a very good question. Now, the mystery about who God is and who created him, there's another mystery, and that mystery is death. I don't give painful readings, which means that I don't get readings where, like, I ask the spirit, is this person going to die in the next 3 months? I don't ask questions like that.
Why?
On readings. Because I feel like that's a mystery. That's a mystery because when you tell somebody that they're going to die in 3 months, I feel like I don't see the purpose of it.
Okay.
And sometimes the spirits, they don't even know the answer to this, or they will choose to not tell you the answer to this. That's one of the part of the reading where they just might keep quiet. Now, randomly, you can do a reading on somebody, and you can pick up an energy of them being sick, or you can let them know that you might want to go to a doctor and go get checked because I pick up an energy of where, or I see you in some way that looks like a hospital. I don't know what that means. That's usually how readings work. I give information that makes absolutely, like puzzle pieces. I give information that makes absolutely no sense to me, and I give it to you. Now, I'm not sure which is the present, the past, or the future. You get what I'm saying? So it's when I give you the reading, it's like, you know what? The part that you said this is actually happening right now, or the part that you said, I don't even know how this is gonna work out, Genesis, because right now I don't even have a job, so I don't know why you see me in an office working. You see that part of that, present, past, and future. I don't have this information. I'm just a medium where this information is communicated to me, and I just feel it. This is the way to give it to me.
Okay. So, somebody walks up to you and says, maybe let's say you laugh. Yeah, I'm in love with this lady, or this lady's in love with me, but I want to be sure if we're compatible or if we have a future together. I'm talking about love questions. Do you do those?
Yes, I do. Go ahead.
You do?
Yes. Yes, because whenever you do a reading for somebody, it's kind of like a blueprint on why you're here. Yeah. So when I'm doing this reading, I'm not picking up, or I'm picking up on whoever I'm picking up on, and I give you the features. Like, okay, so I see you with a woman that is kind of like a little thick, a little dark skinned. I'm giving descriptions, and you're like, she looks nothing like the wife that I have right now. I don't know that.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want to give people the idea of what to expect from a reading.
Yeah, but
you get?
So the question I asked is, okay, so I've seen Genesis. I'm in love with Genesis, and I'm trying to woo her, but she's being a little difficult. Is it possible to come to you and say, look, I'm in love with this lady called Genesis, but she's being a little difficult. Can you do a love potion for me that will make her pay more attention to me?
The first thing I do in situations like that, which you'd be surprised me, it's a lot of people, both male and female, that call for this, right?
Yeah.
And what I do on situations, what I do on situations like this is I kind of want to see if the male and the female in question, they have a destiny together. Okay, so now
Say that again. I missed that. You want to see if the male and the female what?
The destiny is aligned.
Oh, that destinies are aligned. Okay. All right.
Now, if their destinies are aligned, and right now at the moment they're having some type of situational problems, which happens in every relationship, there are specific spells that I can perform on their behalf, or I can instruct them on how to perform it to sweeten their relationship.
Sorry.
I was going to say, on the situation where they are not, their destiny is not aligned, and they are wanting me to, get this man to love them. Yeah. I don't do domination spells because it takes away that free will, which I think is the gift to everybody.
Okay.
It's that free will. Now you can get and on that situation, I'm like, would you rather? I would like to inform your partner about that. Do you think your partner is gonna be okay with you doing this? You'll be surprised. We say, yeah, I mean, he wants to do this, and I want to do it too. Then I will perform the spell. But if it's going against that person, because love spells have like very significant setbacks and side effects that people are not really very conscious of. And I feel like it's my duty as a spiritualist to educate every single person that comes to me for a love spell. So at this point, I'm not going to perform the love spell myself. I will just give you directions on how to perform it, or I'll refer you to my friend who does love spell.
Okay, let me be sure that I'm getting exactly what you're saying, because the Irish is a little complex for a Ghana boy like me. But okay, so from what I understand from what you're saying, if one person loves another, right, and they come to you for you to perform a love potion or a love spell, you'd have to first be able to tell whether both of them are aligned by destiny. Is that what you said?
That is correct.
Okay, so if they're not aligned by destiny and it's the will of one but not the will of the other, you advise the person who is interested to speak to the other person and ask, would you want to end up with me if you had the opportunity? Is that it?
Okay. Yeah, that's correct.
Great. So if you ask the person says, well, you're not a bad person, maybe we can look at it in the future, then there's room for you to perform your love spell.
That is correct.
Great. But if the person says, you know what, I don't think we have a future together because of our varied opinions or varied ways of doing things, you can't do anything about it?
It can't be done, but I'm not the person that's going to perform the specific spell. I would, at that point, if a client of mine that really want to do this, I would at that point refer them to a friend of mine that does love spells.
Oh, okay, so when it's against one's will, you will not do it. But you have someone that will be able to break the other will and make sure that they put them together.
That's correct.
Great. So as a spiritual consultant, what are some of your do's and don'ts? What are some of the things? Okay, now let's first deal with the things you wouldn't do. What are some of the things you wouldn't do as a spiritual consultant?
People have the idea that spiritualists that perform human sacrifices. I've never done that before.
You don't perform sacrifices, human sacrifices.
I haven't performed any ritual that I required human or even animal sacrifice.
Okay.
All right, so it's I have to clear that up. And secondly, what I just mentioned, I'm just one spiritualist that will give you your money back if it happens to be a specific spell, like we just mentioned, a love spell where you're trying to get the man, or if it's a married man or something, you want to, get him to like love you, love you or stay with you. So it's gonna be a spell that I will have to go back to, have to redo and keep redoing, and it's like I don't really invest my energy in spells like that. I don't judge the people that want to do it. However, it doesn't sit right with me to perform those type of spells.
Okay, so as a spiritualist, what would you say is your forte? What is your strengths? What is your strong point, so that if people want to consult, they know that they can consult you based on these things that you do?
My core is cleansing. It's very, very important. People really don't understand the importance of cleansing. It's like mandatory. Cleansing, spiritual cleansings or spiritual baths, or the core to any gateway to spirit. And spiritual cleansing is a spiritual hygiene, just the same way that we get up every morning and take showers. That's basically what spiritual cleansing is. We come in contact with a lot of energy, and what happens is that energy that we come in contact with, what do we do with it? Like, you worry about when you can't pay your rent, or the work is not working the way you want it to, you're having business problems. You bring all of that energy, and then you come in contact with other people that are having such issues, and then you come to work with a whole bunch of other people that are having such issues, and then you come home with that energy. What do you do with it?
Okay.
So when you begin to understand that everything is energy, and when you attach yourself to all of this energy, and then all of a sudden you realize that, you notice that business has stopped moving. In fact, to get a phone call for somebody to call you to bargain for your business is a problem. In fact, things were moving really good, and all of a sudden it just felt like things closed up.